This is a Korean marketplace 60 years ago. This is a Korean mansion 60 years ago. These are a couple cool Korean kids 60 years ago. Why show you this? Because in this life, I've learned that if you have something good, you gotta share it with others. My name is Blair, and these photos come from an archive I've created, Korean Image Archive. Have you ever heard of us? If the answer is no, that doesn't really surprise me because we are Korea's best kept secret. But before I explain what makes us the best, you mind if I tell you a quick story? 60 years ago, Incheon, South Korea. A young woman worked at her family's grocery market, much like this one. A young man served with the US military as a helicopter mechanic at a nearby base. He often took neighborhood walks, and one day he stopped by the market where she worked and bought an apple. One just like this, a Fuji apple. And then he kept going back pretty much every day. So did he go for the apple or for her? Well, 2 generations later, and I'm here. They're my grandparents. Grandma's still alive, but my grandpa died before I was born. I inherited his name as a memory, and years later, I would inherit something else. One day while visiting Grandma, she gave me a box filled with 35mm slides. These things, saying, "I know you like pictures, and your grandpa, he photographed these." At the time, I didn't have a great way to view them because originally you would look at these through a slide projector, and all I had was a flashlight. But it worked. At first, I saw places around the US. I know he and Grandma like traveling. Then, something special happened. More and more scenes from Korea appeared. They weren't the sad black and white wartime photos I was so used to seeing. No, in these photos, people go about their day, they visit markets, work, play. These are photographs of life. I knew others needed to see these, so I bought a scanner, made scans, so many over and over, then brought the scans with me back to Seoul, my home at the time and also my grandma's hometown. I showed them to friends, coworkers, anyone, and they all said how rare and special it is to see Korea at this time in color. Then I looked for the places that appeared in these photos. Some were easy to find, and some I never would have found without help. I even made a film about the whole experience, and my dream is for that film to premiere at the Busan Film Festival one day, but that's a whole nother story, so let's get back to the archive. I returned to the US in 2020, and soon enough, I didn't have much else to do besides sit at home, so I decided to build an archive. See, I didn't just have the collection, I had some experience. Back in college, I volunteered at a film archive for 2 years, and though it didn't make me a trained archivist, it showed me enough to pursue this properly. And one of the former supervisors, she was kind enough to step in and lend her expertise, which elevated this from just a project to an actual archive. So, Korean Image Archive was formed, a volunteer institution that collects, preserves, and provides access to historic Korean images discovered in the US. How about a few numbers? We have 2,598 photo artifacts on file, specifically 1,119 35mm color slides, 1,449 black and white photo prints, 23 postcards, and 7 8mm film reels. I do want to emphasize every single one of these is a physical image that we possess. We are not a digital archive. We don't download pictures from other places or ask for digital copies to re-upload. What we have and show, we own. 90% of these were photographed before 1970. Our earliest images are dated to the 1920s. The number of images we possess but have not yet digitized, I estimate 1,000. As for what's already public, how can you see them? Our main showcase is the website koreanimage.com. Korean Image Archive owns koreanimage.com. Ain't that easy. You can find image galleries segmented by 28 subjects such as architecture, people, and signs. These subjects are further broken down into over 170 subgalleries, and they get real specific, such as city gates, mixed-race Koreans, and advertisements. Want to visit a specific location, like the beaches of Pohang on Korea's east coast or the famous Myeongdong neighborhood in Seoul? You can do that. Check out a collection to see images grouped together by specific story. Lyndon B. Johnson's visit features, well, Lyndon B. Johnson visiting Korea in the fall of 1966. We have 25 public collections in all, and more on the way. We're a resource for anyone wanting to understand Korea's 20th century through photography, so we work with academics and artists to further get these images out into the world. Since going public, our photos have appeared in artworks, experimental films, YouTube videos, history books, and even the physical exhibition in Korea. There's so much to say through these images, so we want to give others a chance to use them. So the big question, why do I do all this? 간단히 설명 드리면 한국 떠났지만 이별 안 했어요. I gotta stay connected to a place that's very important to me. See, when I moved back for the second time, I thought it was going to be a permanent move. And I'm working on the archive from Dallas, Texas, so obviously something didn't work out. I guess I could list all the reasons why I wanted to live in Korea, but a list wouldn't do it justice. It's deeper than that. See, living in a place where your family has a direct history, it gives me a feeling that I haven't encountered elsewhere. And forming relationships with people who recognize that shared heritage, it makes it even more special. I lived a very different life in Korea, and it's one that I have not lived since moving back to the US. So making this archive, using Korean, my second language, my grandma's first language, part of my family's language, and connecting with others through this work, it gives me a semblance of what I used to have. So I got to do it. There's no other alternative. Future plans. Of course, I'm going to keep working on the archive and building our collection, but as far as YouTube is concerned, I'm thinking future collection reveals, unboxing videos, maybe some interviews with people who have used our images in their own work. Here, how about a preview for episode 2? Wait, I do want to say thank you for watching. Feel free to leave comments and ask questions. I'll get to all of them. 한국말로 댓글 남겨주시면 괜찮습니다. 제가 대답 꼭 드리겠습니다. 아무튼 Patreon, if you want to support us financially for the work we do to collect and preserve this material. We do have a Patreon, but otherwise, here's a preview for episode 2.